All right, Emily, we are recording. Go ahead.
All right. Well, welcome to Cooking with Essential Oils, Holiday Season Edition. Good. I am one of the presenters, Emily Jones. We also have Trella Dubez on the line. Today we're going to cover what essential oils are, which essential oils you can use for cooking. We're going to go through a lot of really good tips for cooking with oils. I can cover some holiday kitchen recipes, as well as some other tips and tricks to help get you through the holiday season. And then we'll also cover how to purchase essential oils and have some question and answer time. So like I said, my name is Emily Jones. I started using essential oils about the beginning of this year. Last year I had a lot of, health issues. It's a big, long story that I won't bore you with, but basically after coming out through all of that, I decided that I needed to eliminate all the chemicals and toxins that I could in my life. And I found essential oils through a coworker of mine. And I found that they could just really help replace so many things in my cabinet, in all areas of my lifestyle, and just reduce all those chemicals that I was putting in and on my body. As far as cooking goes, I just had my 2-year anniversary with my boyfriend, and he actually introduced me to cooking. Before that, I was a take it out of the fridge, put it in the microwave, and hoped it tastes good type of girl. So I was very lucky to meet a man who loves to cook. So I've been learning, still very on like a basic level. So nice and simple is like how I like to cook. And since I've been using the oils, I've started incorporating them in my cooking, and they add just a great boost of flavor, again, without the toxic chemicals. So, Stella?
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I really want to thank Emily for putting this together. I've been wanting to do a Cooking with Essential Oils class probably for 2 years. I've been with Young Living since February of 2014. And one of my favorite ways to use the oils is dietarily. And we're going to cover how you can do that. And what I love is that so many of us are super busy in our lives. We want to make good choices, but sometimes it's just really hard, whether it's just literally drinking enough water, or again, like Emily said, like learning how to give our bodies and our hearts and our spirits better fuel and through our diets. And so the oils really help with that. They really streamline it. They make it simple and easy. And in the end, the most important thing is that they make it delicious, which is super awesome. So going forward, Emily and I just want you to know we are not nutritionists, dietitians, or doctors. So again, the info presented here tonight is intended for educational purposes only. We're not intending to diagnose, prescribe, or treat any health condition, and please use common sense and seek medical help when needed. And again, the information we're sharing with you tonight solely applies to Young Living and the Vitality oils that we're going to be sharing with you tonight. It does not apply to other oil brands or other oil companies because they're a whole other beast. And if you don't know why that would be, please contact Emily or I to come to Essential Oils 101, either online or in person, and we'll be able to walk you through that. But again, everything we share tonight is about the Young Living Vitality line. So just a teeny tiny little bit of background about the essential oils. People will ask, really what are they? And they are the natural aromatic compounds found in plants. They're extracted by steam distillation with Young Living or by cold pressing. They're powerful, safe, and they can be used without side effects, and they're 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs. And when we're talking about the health benefits of the oils, we'll talk a little bit about that with a couple of our oils tonight. It's really those compounds. It's literally just the botanical chemistry that makes them so awesome and effective and healthy for us. So again, we just want to make sure that you are using only the purest therapeutic grade essential oils from Young Living. And a lot of the other oils on the market are a perfume or an aroma grade and have been adulterated, cut, or processed with toxic substances. And they are not meant to be digested or ingested or used, as supplements or in your culinary life. And you will see on any other brand, there will be warnings on the labels. There will be, you know, not for internal use, not for topical use, you know, with long lists of warnings. And that's because they are toxic. And again, with Young Living, they're a totally different grade. They're a step above, and they're just pure, awesome yumminess, because things like basil and orange and clove and cinnamon, they're natural botanicals. And if they're all natural, you know, if they're a pure therapeutic grade, they just come from those botanicals and they're safe to use because we eat those things. So again, that's just a little, you know, a little preface there about the different grades of oils. And there's really three main ways you can use the oils from Young Living. That's aromatically, topically, and again, tonight we're focusing on the internal use and the use in your diet, which is super exciting and again, super yummy. So you'll see that a couple of our slides will mention like spice herbs and herbaceous herbs, and then there will be like supplements. Like, so there's a couple blends that you'll see in a couple slides that are, you know, they're formulated for internal use, and they're more of like a supplement. They're really made to really help you and your wellness and help some system of your body. So that right side of that slide there, the internal use, that's just a couple suggestions about how you can use the oils internally, which is great. And again, I like to say, you know, the side effect of the Young Living oils is that they smell awesome, and a lot of them taste really awesome. So moving forward, so this is one of those slides that I was talking about. So you can kind of see here, the herb, there's actually over 43 vitality oils to choose from, which is super awesome. But we have the herb vitality, the spice vitality, the citrus vitality, and the supplement vitality. And that particular slide doesn't go over all 43. It's just sort of a snapshot. But again, these oils have been approved by the FDA for human consumption. So, you know, these labeled essential oils, you see they have a white label. They're labeled vitality, so citrus, fresh vitality, clove vitality, peppermint vitality. These are labeled specifically to be FDA compliant for internal use. And here we have all 43 awesome vitality oils, and I have put together a little song for you. I'll sing you all the names. I'm only kidding. I will not do that. My daughter would run away crying if I did that. But you can sort of get a snapshot here of all the different flavors you can choose from, which is awesome. I mean, everything from basil to thyme, from dill to nutmeg. I mean, you've got all the citrus oils, all those herbaceous oils, all the spicy oils. So it's a really nice lineup that can really, really go a long way. Yeah, I'm just like looking at all of these, and some of these, like I'll just pick out one. So in the left-hand column, there's one called Copaiba. A lot of people aren't familiar with that vitality oil, and it's a really, really lovely vitality that comes from South America, and it's actually purified sap from the copal tree, and it kind of tastes a little bit like sassafras. So, you know, we're talking about holidays tonight, but you could add Copaiba, like if it's August and you've been out working and you're super hot, Copaiba would be one that would be great to throw in with some seltzer and some orange, and you have a nice little spritzer. So you can even, I mean, people drink cold drinks during the holiday seasons too, but there's really no end to some of the combinations that you can do. So when you're looking at cooking with essential oils, you want to make sure that you're using glass, ceramic, or metal bowls and spoons, because the citrus oils are so powerful that they will break down petrochemicals. So if you're using plastic, don't. Like, put it in a ceramic, wood, or glass bowl, because you don't want the citrus oils breaking down the plastics and then that leaching into your food. A little goes a long way. That's one of the reasons we absolutely love the oils, is that, you know, a little bit, you know, 1 or 2 drops of something in while you're cooking can make all the difference. So when you're starting out, especially, just start with 1 drop of oil, taste it, and repeat until you're satisfied with the taste. But just as a warning, some vitality oils like oregano, clove, rosemary, and peppermint are really strong. So a toothpick dipped in oil is all you really need, and then you just stir that toothpick into your mixture. So just as a little aside, I think maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I had a Young Living class at my house. It was a potluck. And my dear friend, Eileen, somebody had made meatballs, and she put on like 2 or 3 drops of oregano on one meatball. And the poor woman was like, oh my God, like, you know, we hadn't gone over this class. So this is one of the reasons we do it. It's like 1 drop of oregano is enough for like a gigantic pot of pasta sauce. So to say the least, we got her some coconut oil and some almond milk, and we tossed the meatball. It was just way too strong. Way too much oregano for one bite. So on the other hand, citrus oils or citrus vitalities like lemon, orange, grapefruit, lime, bergamot, these are really mild. And so, you know, first thing in the morning, I get up, I get like a ball jar glass, and I put 3 drops of orange, 2 drops of copaiba, and sometimes 4 drops of orange, and I fill it up, and that's the first thing I have in the morning. So they're a lot milder, and they can be used more generously, and so they're a little more forgiving, the citrus oils are. So a great tip here is to measure your oils onto a spoon before putting them in your recipes, because sometimes you get a quick dripper. We like to say there are quick drippers and slow drippers with the oils. And a quick dripper is one where all of a sudden you've got 4 drops coming out of the bottle. A slow dripper is like you're holding it upside down for like 5 minutes and like you're hardly getting 1 drop. So when you're starting out, just measure it onto a spoon first, and that way you know how much you're getting. You want to make sure you recap your bottles after use, and because they are volatile, they will actually evaporate out of the bottles if left open for long periods of time. And then you want to keep them away from the heat, light, and humid conditions. If you do that, they do not expire, which is pretty amazing. So unlike dried herbs and other like fresh, produce and fresh herbs that you have to use like right away, if you have your oils in a nice, cool, dark, dry spot, you can keep them for years. And that's like super awesome. I mean, you're probably going to go through them, quicker than like 5 years, but let's say you got one pushed all the way back in the back of the cabinet and you find it a couple of years from now, it's going to be fine as long as it's not been exposed to a lot of heat or light, which is pretty awesome. So, just so you know, in a 101, we talk about all the therapeutic benefits of the oils. You get that through your cooking, but we just want you to know that heat does alter the chemical compounds and can evaporate them off. So you want to try and add the oils as late in the recipe directions as possible. And again, when you're cooking the oils, the high temperatures can diminish their therapeutic effects, but you still get the flavor. So even though the chemical compounds, the therapeutic compounds may have changed, the flavor won't. So what I like to tell people is that turn the heat off. So a lot of people are used to cooking. They have to put the herbs in right at the beginning so that they simmer and they simmer and they simmer and they simmer, and those dried herbs release, guess what? They release their essential oils, and that's what makes the flavor. When you're just using the essential oils, you can do it right at the end, and it makes it taste like you like marinate something for like 12 hours, and it like cuts your cooking time down, which is super awesome. So again, when you're baking something, it's a whole different story. You know that you're just going for the flavor here. The baking is going to alter the therapeutic compounds, but you're still going to get the awesome flavor. And when you're making things like dressings, marinades, sauces, and dips, you can, again, just put it in as late as possible, like in the cooking and in the recipe. Emily has a great tip here to be sure to let the recipe set so the flavors can mingle. So I love to make a really simple salad dressing. It's just balsamic vinegar, olive oil, no salt, organic seasoning, and 4 or 5 drops of citrus oil. And it's really good when I first do it because it's like super like fresh. But like if I let that dressing sit for like a day or two, I have a salad, later on. It's like, again, the flavors have mingled and it just like tastes amazing too. So you can really play with them, which is really nice. So if you're preparing something that will sit in the fridge for a day or two before you eat or drink it, you may want to add your oils an hour or two before serving instead of when you prepare the food or beverage. So you can freshen it up. Like if you add some beforehand, just taste it before you put it out. Do you want it to be a little more flavorful? Add a couple more drops, which is really nice. If you're adding the oils at the end of cooking, smaller amounts are needed than if added before baking, simmering, or steaming because the oils tend to evaporate under the heat. Generally better to stir the essential oils at the end of cooking. Again, some oils such as basil, marjoram, oregano, rosemary, and thyme are quite strong, may actually benefit from cooking a little to get a milder flavor. One of my daughter's favorite meals is just buffalo meat sauce and some einkorn pasta. And I always will put 2 drops of basil and 2 drops of black pepper in her sauce. And, you know, sometimes I will, like I'll add it earlier and it's kind of like mild, it's a little milder, but still really flavorful. Or if it's like, you know, like we're going into winter. So like I want as many of those therapeutic compounds as possible, like going into our bodies. And so I will turn the sauce off and I will drop them in right at the end. And that just gives a nice little health boost too to our meal. So typically 1 drop of citrus oil can substitute for 1 teaspoon of citrus zest. If the recipe calls for the zest from 1 citrus fruit, you can add 8 to 14 drops of the citrus essential oil. Again, citrus oils are pressed from the peel, so they can substitute for the zest, but not the juice. And again, like when I'm using the citrus oils in my water, I love it because it tastes like the zest. Like, I don't really like lemon water. I'll be honest. Like, I mean, I know it's got good benefits for you, but I don't really care for it. I love the lemon oil though. And that's got a whole other like spectrum of awesome therapeutic benefits. So that's a little tidbit about the citrus zest. For minty oils such as peppermint and spearmint, try substituting 1 drop for 1 teaspoon dried mint leaves or 1 tablespoon of fresh mint leaves. Just as a heads up here, a lot of people are really used to spearmint candy and spearmint gum, so they think spearmint is like a sweet minty flavor. It is not. It is bitter, just so you know. Our spearmint is just the pure hardcore, awesome. I mean, spearmint is probably one of my favorite aromas. Like, I just totally love it. It's bitter. Like, it's a bitter mint. And so if you're looking for a minty flavor, go towards the peppermint, you know, unless you're making a really savory dish. And then again, if you're using spearmint, again, try a toothpick dipped in it before you put it in anything. And then you can substitute 1 drop of cinnamon vitality for 1 to 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. If you are making French toast, if you're making pancakes, if you're making chai or other kinds of warm drinks, cinnamon in it is just absolutely magical. Like, it's so yummy, and cinnamon is so good for you. So yeah, cinnamon definite. For herbaceous oils, like again, the basil, marjoram, oregano, and rosemary, start with a toothpick. As we said, floral herbs like lavender can be used in cooking, but because the floral flavors are uncommon, you just want a hint of the flavor. So again, start with the toothpick. Unless you're making like a gigantic vat of, like, you know, during the summer, lavender lemonade is like really popular with Young Living. Like when you're at the farm, that's what they serve, and it's awesome. And they're making gigantic batches of it. So you can use like a drop of it. But the lavender, again, it's a super strong, astringent herb, and you know, it's an herb and like a floral herb. So just go easy on it, and you know, definitely try it out before you serve it. Other flavors like black pepper, tarragon, and cardamom. A good rule of thumb is to substitute 1 drop of oil to 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried spice or herb, and 1 drop of oil for 1 to 2 teaspoons of fresh spice. So if you think the oil is strong where the recipe calls for less than the above quantity, start with a toothpick again, and add more if needed. Black pepper is, again, one of my favorite vitalities. It tastes a lot different than ground pepper. It's actually much fresher and lighter. You know, it definitely has a pepper sort of essence to it, but it's awesome. You know, and same thing with ginger. We're going to go over ginger in a little bit. The ginger oil tastes very different than like ground ginger. You know, in just the ground root. It's just, again, it's like this other essence, this other sort of characteristic, and other flavor. So. Again, there's 43 vitality oils, and we can't go over all the benefits of all of them, but here's a couple of our favorites. So rosemary is prevalent in many holiday dishes. It not only gives amazing flavor, but it boosts the body and digestion. Rosemary is also one of the key ingredients in our thieves oil and thieves vitality. It's really, really great for your immune system. Thyme in the kitchen will not just prove to be helpful in cooking, but cleaning as well. It's one of the best essential oils for cleaning due to its powerful cleansing properties and making holiday cleanup a matter of adding a few drops to a spray bottle. So again, it's going to be really, really great for your immune system, your respiratory system if you're using it to clean. Again, I was just singing the praises of cinnamon. It's great for your metabolism, supports a healthy blood sugar and your digestion. Clove is also in thieves. It's a very warming oil. If you're out and about in the cold and you come in, from the cold, whether you've been shoveling or sledding or skiing, the clove and cinnamon are great to have on hand to help warm you up. And then ginger, again, it's especially useful. It's a very popular, oil to help with digestion. It helps to provide release from gas. And again, ginger is a really common addition to many holiday meals. So again, you can use all of these, for savory dishes, for baked goods. And John just joined us in the background here. So I'm going to turn it back over to Emily, and she's going to go over some of our favorite holiday recipes that we stumbled across for you all.
All right, so up next we have quite a few recipes that can help give you ideas of how to actually incorporate the oils into recipes. Go ahead, Phil. So we're going to start off with some drinks. I love hot chocolate. So if you want to spice up your hot chocolate, you have two options. I'm sure you could experiment with other flavors as well. Peppermint hot chocolate, very simple. After you warm up your hot chocolate, just add a drop or two. And honestly, you might even just want to start with a toothpick, especially if you're just making one little cup. Put the essential oil in there, stir it well, and it's ready to go. I actually just had that last night. My boyfriend whipped up some fancy hot chocolate from like cacao powder and heavy cream, and he just put a little bit of a toothpick of peppermint oil, and it was the perfect, just light flavor. If you prefer something a little more spicy, you can add cinnamon and make some Mexican hot chocolate, or even coffee. You can put it in your coffee too. So. Yeah,
even for like a Mexican hot chocolate, you could add a little bit of black pepper and cinnamon, the cinnamon and the cardamom. It would be more like a sort of a chai Mexican hot chocolate.
Yeah.
So,
if you like hot cider, which I'm also a very big fan of, look for some lemon vitality, cinnamon bark, clove, and nutmeg. You basically would just combine your cider with the essential oils, and even add in some like orange slices. Simmer that over some low heat to warm it up, and then it's pretty much ready to go. So very simple and easy to add essential oils to drink and just take the flavor up a notch. Again, there's a lot of really good drinks over the holidays, especially you got eggnog, mulled wine, hot toddies, chai. Essential oils can really just enhance those flavors and make something new and unique, and surprise some guests if you have them over. They're very easy to drinks. All right, so ham is a very common dish on a holiday table. Making a honey glazed ham with essential oils, you can use cinnamon, clove, and orange. So you would basically make the glaze in a double boiler with some honey, maple syrup, orange juice. Stir that till it's combined and bring it to a boil. Once you remove that from the heat, you can add the essential oils, and then you're going to pour it over the ham. Cook your ham as directed, and just baste it with the glaze as it's finishing cooking. This glaze could very well go with some turkey, salmon, even a veggie dish. Just a very versatile glaze that could be used a lot of different places.
Yeah, a lot of times my family will end up grilling even for the holidays, because as long as it's not like sleeting and raining, we'll fire up the grill and, throw on salmon or something for the holidays. And so as a marinade, again, these three would be great, like on salmon or chicken, or even if you're going to roast a turkey, you could make a really nice glaze out of those.
Cornbread dressing or stuffing, depending on which part of the country you're from, people refer to it differently. So in this recipe, you would want to look for some sage, thyme, and black pepper oil. You basically would just be crumbling your cornbread into a large bowl. Then you want to melt some butter in the skillet over medium heat, adding in your onions and your celery, obviously cooking them until they get tender. Add some sauteed vegetables and the remaining ingredients into the cornbread mixture and stir. Then you want to pour that into a greased dish and chill it for 8 hours before baking it at 375.
One of my favorite sort of savory herbs and flavors is tarragon. So tarragon isn't listed on here, but I think tarragon kind of makes everything better. And so you could even pour a drop or two of tarragon in with that. So yeah.
All right, so one of the easiest recipes we have here is making some lemon butter green beans. Just taking that usual simple dish at the holiday table and just making it taste so much different and so much better. Obviously, you want to cook your green beans, and then you can remove them from the heat and add them with some butter and the lemon essential oil. Maybe even sprinkle a little bit of pepper on there. Toss it all together, mix it around, and it's pretty much ready to serve.
If you ask anyone in my family, I'm kind of obsessed with green beans. I'm not really sure why, but I absolutely love them and have to have them multiple times a week, or else I kind of feel like off. And I always add citrus to my green beans with some no salt seasoning, a little drop of black pepper. It's so easy, and it's literally, especially if you're going to going somewhere for the holidays, you need to bring a dish. This is so simple and easy, and people literally there will be none left. So maybe you want to save some for yourself at home, because literally people eat the entire pot of it. They're so yummy. So good. Yes. Yeah.
Mashed potatoes, again, I know growing up, my mashed potatoes on our table were very bland, and man, adding some garlic, rosemary, and some good butter to that can really just take mashed potatoes to a whole new level. So obviously we kind of make them the same way as you would normal mashed potatoes. You boil the potatoes, mash them all up, adding some butter, maybe some cream. Once you get them to the desired thickness, that's when you can add in the essential oils and the garlic and mix it all around, and it's good to go and ready to serve.
Yeah, that looks super yummy.
Sweet potato casserole. This is actually, I really do like this dish. My mom makes a very good version of sweet potato casserole. In this, if you're adding essential oils, you want to look for lemon and cinnamon to add to the sweet potato casserole. You would again just kind of mash up the sweet potatoes, mix in the base ingredients listed there on the left. Then you put them in the bottom of the dish, and then mix up your toppings. And then spread that over the bottom mixture before drizzling it with butter and baking it. So again, just very easy. You're simply adding a couple of drops of the essential oil into the bowl where you're mixing everything else around.
Anybody else getting hungry? I'm like, oh my God. I'm looking at
Emily,
things,
stop! Stop!
Oh.
Go to Food Anonymous now.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so some good gravy. Gravy can, if grandma or mom overcooks the turkey or something, gravy can be the saving grace on the table. So if you want to look for some sage, thyme, and black pepper to make this ultimate gravy. Making gravy it's a little bit of a harder recipe if you're talking about someone who isn't very apt in the kitchen. But you just want to melt some butter in a Dutch oven over some medium heat. You want to whisk in flour. We recommend einkorn flour, which Young Living does actually have an einkorn flour that you can purchase. Highly recommended, very tasty. So you want to whisk in the flour, and you want to constantly whisk that for a couple of minutes, and then slowly start whisking in the cups of stock, and increase the heat and bring it to a boil. And then you can add in your salt and your garlic powder, and then you want to begin simmering it, which means you want to turn down the heat and stir it occasionally. And what's going to happen is the mixture is just going to start getting thicker and reducing and creating that actual gravy. Then once you're at the desired thickness, you want to turn off the heat, remove the pan from the heat, add in your thyme, sage, and black pepper essential oil, give it a good stir, and it's ready to go. You want to just keep it warm for the table, and that's pretty simple.
I can taste it. It tastes really good. I can taste that one.
Up next, we have the cranberry sauce, just kind of like a holiday table staple. I made this for our Thanksgiving. It was very easy to make it from scratch. You actually buy the whole cranberries, not the jar or the can at the grocery store. And you use, oops, sorry.
Don't touch the screen.
Sorry.
Okay. So for the cranberry sauce, you're looking at orange, lime, and lemon vitality, and you could probably just mix that up if you wanted. And you basically just wash your cranberries off. You put them in a pan, add some cranberry juice and some maple syrup. This recipe does turn out on the tart side, so if you prefer sweet cranberry sauce, you might want to maybe do half a cup of cranberry juice, half a cup of orange juice, or add a little bit of maple syrup, or even experiment with another type of all-natural sweetener like honey or something. So once you add all that into the pan, you want to stir it together and bring it to a boil. And then you want to keep mixing it around, and as you can turn the heat down after it comes to a boil and just let it simmer and stir it for about 10 minutes, and it'll reduce and start to thicken. Once it's at the desired thickness, you want to remove that from the heat. And then you can stir in your essential oils and let it cool. Again, if you are making this the day before, because it's kind of a dish you could make the day before, you might want to wait to add the essential oils until a few hours before you're actually serving the dish. And again, just add a little bit and taste it, and add more as needed.
I love cranberry sauce, and I also make it from scratch. And instead of using 1 cup of cranberry juice, I use 1 cup of orange juice, and then I don't use quite as much maple syrup. And I actually add walnuts, which is super yummy. So I cook the walnuts in with it, and it's really yummy. As well as sometimes I'll either get tangerines and put in slices of tangerines and cook that down with it, or I'll get like a can of mandarin oranges and organic mandarin oranges, and I'll throw those in with it. So those are some like other sort of tweaks you can do. But again, this is a really simple, flexible recipe, and the oils just make it unbelievable. Like, again, my mouth is watering because that's super yummy food. Okay. Here we go.
All right, pumpkin pie. I love a good pumpkin pie.
Me too.
So some good spices that are in a pumpkin pie, if you didn't know, are cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, and ginger. So you basically just add those essential oils in at the beginning when you're making your sugar, salt, and pumpkin mixture. And then you want to separate your eggs, keeping the whites aside. Beat the yolks and add it into the pumpkin mixture. Add some sour cream. Then you can go ahead and beat the egg whites to form soft peaks, and then fold it into the pumpkin. Pour this into an unbaked pie crust if you are not apt to make a homemade pie crust. My boyfriend attempted this the other week, and it is actually very difficult to make your own pie crust. So not recommended for beginners, but very tasty and fun if you enjoy baking. So after you pour the mixture into the pie crust, you can bake it for 10 minutes at 450. And then you want to drop it down to 350 and bake it for an hour and a half. As always with pie, you want to make sure it's completely cooled before serving. And you can even top the pumpkin pie off with some whipped cream. If you want to jazz up your whipped cream, you can add a little bit of orange or lemon vitality to that. And then if you have your own, pumpkin pie recipe or your grandma's pumpkin pie recipe that's been passed down, it's very easy to, instead of adding the dried spices into the mix, to just use the oils. And again, you want to refer to the dried spice to oil drop conversion that we had before. So you can really just take those flavors and put them into any type of pumpkin pie recipe, and it'll turn out fantastic. Trust me.
I'm just remembering last year for the holidays, I made like a vegan paleo pumpkin pie, which was actually really, really good. And the pie crust was just walnuts, pecans, and dates that just like make, and then you just like press it into the pie. And then again, it's, it's kind of a very similar filling. I used coconut cream, like whole fat, like coconut cream instead of sour cream or condensed milk. And then I used the oils, and it was really good. It was very rich. Like one slice is like, sometimes you feel like you can eat 2 or 3 slices of pumpkin pie. Like one slice of this pumpkin pie was like, whoa, like there was like super dense nutrient portion of the meal. But yeah, it was really, really yummy. So.
All right, so next are ginger sugar cookies. I made a huge batch of these, and they were out of this world, and I ate them way too fast. I actually had to start giving them away to people because I was just eating too many of them. So in them are ginger, clove, and cinnamon bark. It was a very, very easy recipe to throw together. You just cream some butter and some sugar together. Then you just add your eggs and maple syrup and kind of mix that around. And then you add a couple of drops of the essential oils. And then in a separate bowl, you mix up your dry ingredients, and then you combine them into a nice dough. You do want to chill that dough for an hour in the fridge at least. That's going to help with the texture of the cookies. And then once the dough is chilled, you can go ahead and get it in the oven at 350. I made about small 1.5-inch balls and put them on the cookie sheet and baked it for about 10, 12, maybe it might have even been 15 minutes. And they came out and they just smelled amazing. Like that is when you're cooking with the essential oils, like I feel like the aroma in the house is just like next level compared to cooking without them. So be prepared for that. It's definitely a good side effect. But yeah, so these are really, really awesome cookies. They have a nice ginger taste. It wasn't too overwhelming, and they were super yummy.
Awesome.
Some peppermint brownies, if you're a brownie fan. They are pretty up there on my dessert favorite list. So here you can see a list with recipe that even has some frosting to add on top if you want. I'm sure you could just make the brownie by itself too, and it would be just as tasty. And there you want to add a couple of peppermint oil drops to it.
Awesome. I am a brownie purist. I do not like icing on my brownies, but like I love just plain brownies. Like they're super yummy. I love them. So.
You can also make some peppermint bark. You just be melting down some chocolate in a double broiler, adding in your essential oils and letting it cool in the sheet. And then breaking it up into the classic like peppermint chocolate bark type stuff. This is a great recipe for the holidays, for family gatherings, or even to do cute little treat bags for neighbors, friends. I think they went fancy here and did a layer of dark chocolate and a layer of white chocolate, and then sprinkled some crushed up candy canes. You could go fancy or just you know, do one layer of the dark chocolate, add a little peppermint oil, and it's good.
Awesome.
All right. I do love cheesecake, so you can also use oils in cheesecake. Little lemon cheesecake tarts, again, you can just use little pre-made tart crusts, or attempt to make your own crusts. But in here, you're just using some lemon vitality oil, and cream the cream cheese and the butter and the powdered sugar, vanilla extract, and the lemon essential oil together. So again, it's going in at the beginning of the recipe. And then they do also have lemon juice that you mix in. And yeah, so these are like a no-bake lemon cheesecake tart with some lemon vitality oil. And I haven't made these yet, but they look really yummy, so I wanted to include them to make sure that I made them later.
Nice. Let us know how they turn out.
I will.
Cool. Thank you so much, Emily. So I'm sure you all are hungry. I know. This is actually my mom's like absolute favorite oil. This is Christmas Spirit. It's actually a blend of black spruce, orange, and cinnamon, and it tastes and smells like the holidays. This is not a vitality. It smells like the holidays. I'll just leave it at that. It's a super great one. And we wanted to actually share some holiday diffuser recipes with you too, just to help bring in the, bring in the season. We've got spiced fall cider, chai spice, autumn love, holiday spirit, holiday pie, gingerbread, and peppermint bliss. So you can take a snapshot of all those awesome combinations there. One that's not listed is just like 3 drops of thieves and 3 drops of peppermint. So again, thieves is a combination of rosemary, eucalyptus, lemon, clove, and cinnamon. And when you diffuse it, it kind of smells like a gingerbread cookie. And then you add the peppermint to it. And it's kind of like you're in Santa's workshop. Like, we absolutely love it. So maybe that's what I'll call it. I'll call it Santa's workshop, that blend. It's just really good. So yeah, just make sure that, you're using your diffuser to help, especially if something goes awry in the kitchen, the diffuser is a saving grace if you have company coming over to help, drop out any odors you don't want in your house. And Emily and I just definitely wanted to encourage everybody to, make sure you relax and enjoy the holiday season. We know that it can get a little hairy and crazy for some people. So, if you're out and about in the crowds, or if you have a lot of people coming to your home, or you're just, whatever's going on for you, like, there's some really great support for the holidays beyond just the recipes. And these are a few of our favorites. So we've got up in the upper left-hand corner is an awesome blend called Peace and Calming. It has tangerine in it and patchouli and a couple other things. It's just really, really, really lovely. It's mostly citrusy smelling, but very warm. And it's a favorite among a lot of people. Lavender, of course, is renowned as the oil of relaxation. It's just nice to have on hand, to have in your purse. Again, it's a nice sort of floral oil. It's nice and light. And if you're feeling like you're a little stressed here with the with the holidays, it's a great one to turn to. And then, of course, if you really, really, really are on the go in a big way, the Stress Away Roller is awesome. This is a 10 ml roller bottle. So you uncap that golden top and you can just roll it all over yourself from head to toe. You can roll it all over your children, all over your loved ones, all over your car, whatever you need. It's like super convenient. And with vanilla and lime in it, it smells absolutely awesome. And then Young Living actually has these awesome bath bombs. So if you are lucky enough to carve out a half an hour for yourself, this is a great way to go. You can stick one of those in your bathtub and take yourself away for 30 minutes. So again, what we've been sharing with you tonight is the Vitality line from Young Living. And we just wanted to go over briefly again why we choose Young Living as the only brand of essential oils that we'll use. And there's something called the Seed to Seal Promise, and that has 3 pillars in it. It's about sourcing, science, and standards. Again, if you get yourself to a 101, we'll go over this a little bit more. You can always visit seedtoseal.com, but it's really about the highest quality therapeutic essential oils that Young Living can produce. And that comes directly from our farms and our facilities to your house, which is super nice. So again, it's just grade A therapeutic goodness from the time the seed goes in the ground until that oil arrives at your door. And with Young Living, what I like to tell people is that especially this time of year, so many people are doing online shopping. And to bring the oils home, it's actually simple. With a membership with Young Living, which acts a lot like a Costco online or an Amazon Prime, you get 24% off your essential oils and other products for life. So unlike those other memberships that you have to renew, as long as you're buying $50 a year in product, you're an active member. There's no renewal, which is really, really nice. And then as a member, you have the option to join our Essential Rewards Auto-Ship program. So you do not have to. It is completely optional. So again, I'm just going to repeat that. Totally optional. And it's a super smart choice because I think Discover will offer, like if you have a Discover card, they'll offer you like a rewards program that's like maybe 3 to 5% back. And Essential Rewards from Young Living is 10 to 25% back on your purchases, which accrues points, which is mostly dollar for dollar that you can use on other products, which is super awesome. Every month for members, Young Living has price point incentives. So if you spend a certain amount, you're going to get free goodies in the mail. And then again, with the membership, if you have loved ones and friends and colleagues who are like, oh my gosh, you smell so good. Oh my gosh, your pumpkin pie was amazing. Oh my gosh, that hot apple cider or hot chocolate you made me was so yummy. I want to bring some of that home. You just refer them with your member number. And guess what? If you have a qualifying order that month, you're going to get a thank you check from Young Living. So it's super easy and simple, and we definitely recommend the membership. So to bring the oils home, if you aren't already a member, you just want to go to youngliving.com. You click select a member at the top right-hand corner of the page. And then you'll see this page here in front of you. You choose your membership. You click on become a member. And then in the lower right-hand corner, you select I was referred by a member, and you can use Emily's member number or use the number of the person that referred you to this class. Emily's number is 119290057. So you just plunk that in the sponsor enroller. Takes you to the next page where you choose your starter kit and add any additional items you like. Then you choose your username, password, you fill out your member info, and you check out. It's really, really simple. There's not a lot of craziness. It's a simple, straightforward thing. And then you are a member with Young Living. So thank you so much for joining us. It was awesome to get really hungry with you all, fantasize about all these fantastic foods. If you have any questions going forward, please do not hesitate to reach out to Emily or I. We have an active Facebook group. So once you become a member, we'll get you plugged in there. And yeah, you can reach out to us at any time. Also, Emily has an amazing, for any athletes out there, she has an awesome website called fitoils.com. It's her blog, and she just goes over, what she uses as an obstacle course racer. Sorry. I always forget the R. So yeah, and it's amazing. Like definitely check out fitoils.com. It's totally worth it. Oh.
Well, thank you very much for all your input, Trella.
Yeah.
Always appreciate your experience.
Yeah, thank you so much for putting this together and finally making my dream of a culinary Young Living class come to fruition. So everybody have a really lovely evening, and we will see you again soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Yummy.
See ya.